Russia and the U.S. want to have better relations. That requires Moscow to take a step back from Bashar al-Assad and take a step forward in terms of negotiating a way for him to leave power and to have a ceasefire to end this brutal more than 6-year war. So that's the U.S. case that's being made. And that is actually what is being made more difficult when you have those comments today by President Vladimir Putin publicly saying that President Trump has actually damaged trust. And back in Washington, you have this case being made very publicly, responding to rhetoric out of Moscow to show that actually the U.S. has evidence to back up its military actions and that this wasn't just all made up to frame Assad, which is what Vladimir Putin claimed just again this morning.
Margaret, back in December of 2016, there was a headline in the Financial Times, Vladimir Putin expresses hope for improved Russia-U.S. relations. This in the wake of President Obama leaving office and President Trump coming into office. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin, speaking earlier, said the level of trust between the U.S. and Moscow has deteriorated under President Trump. So how will this impact Tillerson's trip and the relationship between the two countries going forward?
Well, it's certainly making the diplomacy more difficult. But what I would say is that both President Trump and President Putin tend to be tacticians here. They tend to be very transactional. And the U.S. message that Secretary Tillerson said he's bringing here is that if you want that better relationship, here's what you have to do to earn it. And that requires Syria really being the main topic today. But until last Tuesday when that gas attack happened in Syria, the topic here was supposed to be other issues, including pressuring Moscow to stop meddling in elections in Europe and the U.S. The State Department also said they wanted to talk about the military interference in Ukraine. Remember, that's what those costly financial sanctions are related to there.
Good evening. We just came from a productive meeting, as you heard Foreign Minister Lavrov mention, of about 2 hours with President Putin. We frankly discussed the current state of U.S.-Russia relations. I expressed the view that the current state of U.S.-Russia relations is at a low point. There is a low level of trust between our two countries. The world's two foremost nuclear powers cannot have this kind of relationship. We further discussed approaches to improving our channels of communication. We had a lengthy exchange of views regarding the situation in Syria and shared perspectives on possible ways forward. Earlier today, Foreign Minister Lavrov and I had a lengthy conversation about issues that require immediate attention and issues that require longer-term attention. We understand that improvement in the long-term relationship will be required if we are to make progress on issues where we have different views. We spoke extensively about Syria, and in some areas we share a common view. Specifically, we both believe in a unified and stable Syria, and we agree we want to deny a safe haven for terrorists who want to attack both of our countries. We agree that North Korea has to be denuclearized. We agreed there needs to be more senior level communication between our two countries, both at a diplomatic and military level. But there is a broad range of other issues in which we have differences. Some have global implications with long-term requirements, and others are understood to be bilateral. Over the course of the past 2 years, a number of reciprocal actions have been taken to demonstrate the dissatisfaction each country has with the other. We need to attempt to put an end to this steady degradation, which is doing nothing to restore the trust between our two countries or to make progress on the issues of the greatest importance to both of us. We've agreed to establish a working group to address smaller issues and make progress towards stabilizing the relationship so that we can then address the more serious problems. Foreign Minister Lavrov and I agreed we would consider further proposals made about the way forward in Syria, including consulting with our allies and coalition members. And we will continue discussions about how to find a solution to the Syrian conflict. We also discussed current threats posed by the North Korea's regime the regime's ongoing development of their nuclear program, and the constructive role Russia can play in encouraging the regime in North Korea to change its course so that we can create the conditions for talks regarding the future. On Minsk, we consider the importance of the accord. Russia can make progress in the implementation by de-escalating violence and taking steps to withdraw separatist armed forces and heavy weapons so that OSCE observers can fulfill their role. Until full progress is made under the Minsk Accords, the situation in Ukraine will remain an obstacle to improvement in relations between the U.S. and Russia. I thank the Foreign Minister for a productive round of discussions, and I look forward to future conversations. Thank you.